Hello students, we had started chapter number 2, which is work and energy. In that previous video we have seen work. Now we'll see what is energy. Now why does it happen? First, if a pot having a plant is kept in the dark, the plant languishes. Second, on increasing the volume of music system or TV beyond a limit, the vessels in the house start vibrating. Third, collecting sunlight on a paper with the help of a convex lens burns the paper. The capacity of a body to perform work is called its energy. The unit of energy, the unit of work, and the energy are the same. The unit in SI system is joule, while that in CJ system is erg. You have learned that energy exists in various forms like mechanical, heat, light, sound, electromagnetic, chemical, nuclear, and solar. In this chapter, we are going to study two forms of mechanical energy, namely potential energy and kinetic energy. Now we'll see what is kinetic energy. What will happen in the following cases? First, a fast cricket ball strikes the stumps. Second, the striker hits a coin on the carom board. Third, one marble strikes another in a game of marbles. From the above example, we understand that when a moving object strikes a stationary object, the stationary object moves. Thus, the moving object has some energy, part or all of which it shares with the stationary object, thereby setting it in motion. The energy which an object has because of its motion is called its kinetic energy. The work done by a force to displace the stationary object through a distance is, is the kinetic energy gained by the object. So kinetic energy is equal to work done on the object. Therefore, kinetic energy is denoted by Ke, which is equal to force into displacement, which is a formula for work done. So here we will see expression for kinetic energy. Suppose a stationary object of mass m moves because of an applied force. Let u, small u, be its initial velocity. Here small u is equal to 0 because initially velocity is 0. Let the applied force be F. This generates an acceleration a in an object, and after time t the velocity of the object becomes equal to v, small v. The displacement during this time is s. The work done on the object w is equal to force into displacement, which is equal to w is equal to f into s. Now according to Newton's second law of motion, we know the force is equal to mass into acceleration. Similarly, using Newton's second law equation of motion, displacement is equal to small ut plus 1 by 2 at square. However, as initial value velocity is 0, which is small u is equal to 0, therefore we will get that s is equal to 0 plus half at square. So therefore s is equal to half at square. Therefore w work done is equal to ma into half at square. We have substituted the value of s, which is half at square, and the value of f, which is ma. So which is equal to w is equal to half m bracket a in the inside the bracket at bracket square. So using Newton's first equation for motion, v is equal to small u plus at. Therefore small v is equal to 0 plus at, because initially the value of small u is 0. Therefore we will get v is equal to at. Therefore v square is equal to at square. On squaring on both sides, we will get v square is equal to at bracket square. Therefore equation per work done we will get, which is equal to half into mv square, using equation 3 and 4. The kinetic energy gained by an object is the amount of work done on the object. Therefore kinetic energy we know which is work done. So therefore we will get kinetic energy is equal to half mv square. Now we'll see example based on kinetic energy. A stone having a mass of 250 grams is falling from a height. How much kinetic energy does it have at the moment when its velocity is 2 meter per second? So here we have to find the kinetic energy. Now the mass of the stone is given, which is m is equal to 250 grams. So here we have to convert that mass into kilogram because our velocity is in meter per second. So mass becomes 0.25 grams kilograms, and the velocity is 2 meter per second. Therefore our formula for kinetic energy is half mv square. So after substituting values, half into 0.25 into 2 square, we will get 0.5 joule. Now use your brain power. If a mass of a moving body is doubled, how many times will the kinetic energy increases? That you will have to find. Now we'll see the potential energy. First, an arrow is released from a stretched bow. Second, water kept at the height flows through a pipe into the tap below. Third, a compressed spring is released. These are the example of potential energy. The energy stored in an object because of its specific state or position is called its potential energy. This is a definition of potential energy. Now, first one, hold a chalk at a height of 5 cm from the floor and release it. Second, now stand up straight and then release the chalk. So third one, is there a difference in the result of the two activities? If so, why? We have to find whether there are any differences or not. Now we'll see the expression for potential energy. To carry an object of mass m to a height h above the earth's surface, a force equals to mass into acceleration due to gravity, which is denoted by mg, has to be used against the direction of the gravitational force. The amount of work done can be calculated as follows. We know the work is equal to force into displacement. So W is equal to force. Force we know, which is m into g, and displacement is the height. Displacement is nothing but the height. So therefore we will get work done is equal to mgh. Therefore amount of potential energy stored in an object of its displacement pe, potential energy is denoted by pe, which is equal to mgh, because potential energy is nothing but the work done on that time. So therefore potential energy is equal to mgh. Therefore displacement to height h causes energy equal to mgh to be stored in the given object. So we have example based on potential energy. 500 kg water is stored in the overhead tank of a 10-meter height building. Calculate the amount of potential energy stored in the water. So if 500 kilograms of water stored in the overhead tank, we have to find how much amount of potential energy stored over there. So we have given data. Height we have, which is 10 meter. Mass we have, which is 500 kilograms, and the value of small g, which is gravitation acceleration due to gravity, and the value is 9.8 meter per second square, which is constant value. So potential energy we have formula, which is equal to m into g into h. So after substituting values, we will get 10 into 9.8 into 500. So therefore potential energy is equal to 49,000 joule. So here one activity we have. Ajay and Atul have been asked to determine the potential energy of a ball of mass small m kept on a table as shown in the figure. You can see the figure. What answer will they get? Will they be different? What do you conclude from this? Potential energy is relative. The height of the ball with respect to the Ajay and Atul are different. So the potential energy with respect to them will be different. Now transformation of energy. Which are the different forms of energy? Which type of energy is used in each of the following processes? First one, a stretched piece of rubber. Second, fast moving car. Third, a whistling of cooker due to steam. Third, a crackers exploded in Diwali. Fifth one, a fan running on electricity. Sixth one, drawing out a pieces of iron from garbage using a magnet. Seventh, breaking of glass window pane because of loud noise. Energy can be transferred from one type to another. For example, the exploding firecrackers convert the chemical energy stored in them into light, sound, and heat energy. So you can see this diagram. In that first one, you can see electrical energy converted into heat energy by using heater, and that again that heat energy we can convert into electrical energy by using thermocouple. So similarly, electrical energy we can convert into sound energy by using loudspeakers, and again that's sound energy converted into electrical energy by using microphones. Similarly, that electrical energy converted into mechanical energy by secondary cell, and chemical energy converted into electrical energy by primary cell. And again, electrical energy we can convert into light energy by electric lamp, and that light energy we can convert into electrical energy by solar lamp or photoelectric cell. And electrical energy we can convert into mechanical energy by using engine or fan, and that mechanical energy we can convert by using generators. So these are transformation of energy from one state to another. Now we'll see the law of conservation of energy. Energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. It can be converted from one form into another. Thus the total amount of energy in the universe remains constant. This is called the law of conservation of energy. Now we have one activity. Make a two pendulums of the same length with the help of thread and two nuts. Tie another thread in the horizontal position. Now you can see this. Tie the two pendulum on this horizontal thread in such a way that they will not hit each other while swinging. Now swing one of the pendulums and observe what do you see. You can do that activity. You will see that as the speed of the oscillation of the pendulum slowly decreases, the second pendulum, which was initially stationary, begins to swing. Thus one pendulum transfers its energy to other. Now we'll see the free fall. If we release an object from a height, it gets pulled towards the earth because of the gravitational force. An object falling solely under the influence of gravitational force is said to be in free fall or to be falling freely. Let us look at the kinetic and potential energies of an object of mass small m falling freely from the height h when an object is at different heights. Now we'll see one diagram. As in the diagram, the point A is at height h from the ground. Let the point B at the distance x vertically below A. Let the point C be on the ground directly below A and B. Let us calculate the energies of the object at A, B and C at their different points. You can see this diagram. That complete height is h. You can see that much distance from A to B is x, and the distance from B to C will be h minus x. Now first we will calculate the total energy at point A. So first, when the object is stationary at A, its initial velocity is small u is equal to 0. We know if the object is at rest, their velocity will be 0. So we have formula for kinetic energy 1 by 2 into mass into velocity square. So we will get 1 by 2 mu square. So we know the value of u is 0. So that is why the value of kinetic energy becomes 0. And the potential energy we know formula, which is m into g into h. So the total energy which is the addition of kinetic energy and potential energy becomes 0 plus mgh. Therefore total energy is equal to small m into g into h at point A. Now let the velocity of the object be vb when it reaches point B, having fallen through a distance x. So at that time also initial velocity will be 0 small u, and the displacement x s becomes x, whatever will be the distance between that point A to the point B, and acceleration will be the gravity. So therefore we have formula v square is equal to u square plus 2as. Over there velocity will be substitute vb, and the value of u square becomes 0 because the value of u we have as a 0. So 2 into a into s After substituting the value of A as G and the value of S as X, we will get Vb square is equal to 2gx. So we can calculate kinetic energy, which is equal to half into m Vb square, which is equal to half into m, and the value of V is 2gx. We have substituted here. So kinetic energy becomes that 1 by 2, that 2 and that 2 will be cancelled. It will become mg into x. So kinetic energy becomes mg into x. Now height of the object when at point B is equal to h minus x. So therefore potential energy we know m into g h, and the height will become h minus x. Therefore potential energy is equal to, after multiplying with that mg inside the bracket, we will get mgh minus this minus sign and mgx. Therefore total energy becomes kinetic energy plus potential energy. So after adding that mgx plus mgh minus mgx, that minus mgx and plus mgx cancel with each other, and total energy becomes only mgh. So in third one, let the velocity of the object be vc when it reaches the ground near the point C. On that time also initial velocity is 0 and the displacement becomes height and the acceleration will be gravity. So on that time v square is equal to u square plus 2as. Here also velocity becomes vc and the u square value becomes 0 and 2gh. So kinetic energy on that time is equal to half into mvc square, which is equal to half into mgh. So that half and that 2 will be cancelled to each other. So the height of the object from the ground at point C is equal to 0. Height we have 0. So potential energy will be mgh. After substituting the value of h 0 over here, the value of potential energy becomes 0. Therefore total energy is equal to kinetic energy plus potential energy, and the value of potential energy we have 0. So therefore total energy becomes mgh. From the equation 1, 2 and 3, we see that the total energy of the object is the same at the 3 points A, B and C. Thus every object has potential energy when it is at the height above the ground, and it is keeps getting converted to kinetic energy as the object falls towards the ground. On reaching the ground, that means at point C, all the potential energy gets converted to kinetic energy, but at any point during the fall, the total energy remains constant. Therefore total energy, that is total energy is equal to potential energy plus kinetic energy. Total energy at A is equal to mgh plus 0, which is mgh. Total energy at point B is equal to mgx minus mgh plus mg into bracket h minus x, which is mgh again, and the total energy at point C is equal to 0 plus mgh, which is mgh. That means at all the points total energy is mgh only. Now we'll see power. So think before you answer. First one, can your father climb stairs as fast as you can? Second, will you fill the overhead water tank with the help of a bucket or an electric motor? Suppose Rajeshri, Yash and Ranjit have to reach the top of the small hill. Rajeshri went by car, Yash went cycling, while Ranjit went walking. If all of them choose the same path, who will reach first and who will reach last? In the above example, the work done is the same in each example, but the time taken to perform the work is different for each person or each method. The fast or slow rate of the work done is expressed in terms of power. Power is the rate at which work is done. If W is amount of work is done in the time small t, then we have the formula for power, which is work upon time, and power is denoted by small p, so it will becomes W upon t, work upon t. In SI system, the unit of work is joule, so the unit of power is joule per second, because formula is work upon time. This is called watt, and that unit is called as watt, and we have conversion 1 watt is equal to 1 joule 1 per 1 second. In the industrial sector, the unit used to measure the power is called horsepower, and 1 horsepower is equal to 746 watt. This is a conversion. Unit of energy for commercial use is kilowatt hours. Now 1000 joule work performed in 1 second is 1 kilowatt power. That is 1 kilowatt power is equal to 1 kilowatt into 1 hour, which is equal to 1000 watt into 3600 seconds, which is equal to 36 lakh joule. So 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 3.6 into 10 raised to 6 joule. So electricity used for domestic purpose is measured in the unit of kilowatt hour. So an introduction to scientists. The steam engine was invented in 1781 by Scottish scientist James Watt. This invention brought about an industrial revolution. The unit of power is called watt. In his honor, James Watt was the first to use the term horsepower. Now examples, we have numerical problem. Sorali takes 20 seconds to carry a bag weighing 20 kg to a height of 5 meter. How much power she used? So mass we have, which is 20 kg, height we have 5 meter, and the time 40 seconds. Therefore the force which has to be applied by Swarali, F is equal to m into g, which is equal to 20 into 9.8. The value of g is 9.8 always. Therefore F is equal to 196 newtons. Force we got. Work done by Swarali to carry the bag to a weight of 5 meter to a height of 5 meter. W is equal to F into S. Work done we know, force into displacement, which is equal to 196 into 5, which is 980 joule. So power, we know the formula, which is work upon time, so it will become 980 upon 40. This is how we have to calculate. Thank you.